Hello, and welcome to our workshop, Applying the Wisdom of Nature to Our Work. My name is Diane Lynch, and I'm with Sacred Earth Science. You probably came to this workshop after attending other ones, so I'd like to just start out by making us all present in the moment, and I think that will help in the presentation that I have for you today. I'd like to do an Arctic meditation that was written by Sandra Ingerman in her book, Speaking with Nature. So look around you and take in the beauty of the snowy terrain. Feel yourself standing on the frozen earth. Although the ground is frozen, the molecules within are in constant movement, as life is always in movement. Take some deep breaths and breathe in the calm, clean, fresh, cold air. Imagine what the air tastes like in your mouth. Feel the air traveling down your throat and into your lungs. Touch the snow and ice with your fingers. Feel the coldness and the texture. Notice how your heartbeat changes as you connect with the majestic beauty of this land. Listen to the silence. Experience a state of wonder as you go further into the landscape filled with deep mystery. Notice one of the inhabitants of the Arctic, the snowy owl, sweeping in for a landing. The powerful presence of the snowy owl in nature, or even its image in a photo, is breathtaking. Delight in the owl's intense beaming yellow eyes and soft regal feathers. Fully experience the great beauty of the snowy owl, and when you feel comfortable, take some deep breaths and bring your awareness back into the physical space where you started. So people have awakened to the fact that climate change is here and it's affecting weather, animals, plants, and the migration of people. We may have 8 to 10 years to fix this problem, or there's no turning back. So how do we shift? We've talked about healing the earth, but Ian McCullum, in his book Rediscovering Ourselves in Nature, says the earth really doesn't need healing. We do. The earth is indifferent to us. It will survive, but we need to redefine our relationship with it. We need to reach out not to save the earth, but to rediscover ourselves in it. So how do we shift? How do we do that? I believe it's because by creating a new way of being on the earth. Science provides us with tools and technology. Spirituality gives us vision and values. This new paradigm that we would shift to is one that would use that and an innate wisdom, indigenous knowledge, and a deep scientific understanding of the interconnectedness of all the ecosystems. The wise owl says that we need to change our attitudes. Healing cannot occur without a profound change in our attitudes about ourselves into the world and in the world. The wise owl will tell us how. So we need to embrace our animal past. We need to become evolutionary minded. We need to wake up to the privilege of what it means to be human and embrace our kinship with the animal world, that we are part of the web with deep evolutionary roots. Our evolutionary roots are indigenous, but we are far removed from them. Indigenous communities who are still active are not far removed from those beginnings. Doug Goodfeather, in his book, Think Indigenous, says we need to learn honor and compassion for all beings and integrate that into our daily lives. Every indigenous culture has its own individual beliefs, but what unites them is a philosophy of living in harmony with the ways of Mother Earth and in alignment with the natural laws of the universe. Indigenous people believe that there is a spirit in everything and a God in everything. Joseph Campbell, in his book, The Power of Myth, states all of life is addressed as thou by indigenous societies. If you address life as rather than as an it, call it an and thou, like the beautiful snowy owl that we saw earlier in the presentation, the whole way that you think of it changes. It has much more value than if you called it an it. We need to be guided by the seasons and the four directions. There is a celestial balance between the sun and the earth. Without using a calendar, see if you can start feeling the seasons and take note of their effect on you. To some indigenous cultures, the east shows that it's a new beginning, and that's where we say is spring. We greet the sun and the light of a new day, and we would accept the past and move forward. The south would be considered the breath of life, which is in the summer. Each breath would reconcile and reconnect with our spiritual journey, and we would see the seeds of our actions take root. In the west, we would engage in the healing powers, which is fall, time for reflection on what we've accomplished. In the north, we would have earth medicine, and that would be winter. We would focus on renewal, regeneration, lessons of the actions that we took, and make plans for the next year. We need to learn from the animals. Indigenous people believe that they are not the original teachers. They listened to the earth with an open heart and gave voice to the bear, the eagle, the raven, and the stone. They learned from animals, not about them, and they admired certain traits and imitated them. If we look at the similarities between us and other creatures, there's a whole world of possibilities that opens up. We're not alone. We have relatives everywhere we look. We need to adapt to changing conditions. Nature cooperates with change rather than resists it. We need to learn to read the signs of transition in our own lives. If we look at a systems approach, we know that there's a close coupling between human and natural systems. There's a constant change and a transfer of energy. We need to cultivate cooperative relationships. Susan Simard, in Finding the Mother Tree, said that there is a web of interdependence between all of the trees. There are underground channels that relay messages back and forth throughout the fungal networks. In Western cultures, we tend to hold up the individual higher than we do the group, and we separate ourselves from the natural world. We look at having a dominance over nature rather than a kinship with it. In fact, one of the iconic examples is we look at a lone wolf howling at the moon, but in reality, a lone wolf is actually a dead wolf when he's taken away from his pack. We need to rest, renew, and regenerate. Nature's hallmark is resilience. Biomimicry observes how nature uses diversity, redundancy, decentralization, and self-renewal and self-repair. We need to identify critical functions for well-being and ensure that we maintain them. Nature allows for restoration. It breaks down and lets go and allows the next succession of growth to continue. We need to accept the disruption and renewal and reflect upon the ultimate growth. So how do we rest, renew, and regenerate? One of the ways that we can do that is through meditation. Meditation slows down thinking and brings awareness to the present moment. Nature's speed is actually medium to slow unless animals are being pursued. Scientific studies show that meditation strengthens the good part of the brain and decreases the bad part, which is where there is anxiety, fear, and stress, which is called the amygdala. The meditation can be as simple as 20 minutes a day. The goal is to notice your thoughts, not try to eliminate them because that's impossible, but just notice the thoughts and keep on focusing on your breath in and out. When you count your breaths, you cannot think of anything else. We need to practice mindfulness. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Buddhist monk who was well known for his work on breath and mindfulness. Mindfulness, he said, is the miracle by which we call back our dispersed mind and restore it to wholeness through our breath. We need to be present in each minute of life. There's a sutra of mindfulness, which is body focused, and that is when you are walking, focus on walking. When you are sitting down, focus on sitting down. When you're washing the dishes, focus on washing the dishes. Do whatever you need to do in a focused way, and you will be much more powerful as a result. We also need to practice an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for even the small things that happen in your life, and that will attract other things that will be positive in your life. The bottom line is what you appreciate appreciates. Love, joy, and peace are high levels of energy frequency, and we want to maintain those high levels so that we can work as efficiently and effectively as we can. So a way to do that is by spreading love. Focus on the things that you love in your life and send love to all of the earth and all the beings in it. Angeles Arrien was an anthropologist who said, because we have originated from nature, if we wander away for too long, its rhythm and its beauty always calls us to return to it. I'd like to thank all these resources that I used for my presentation today. And I would like to thank you for attending this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely rest of the day.